Hey, good morning. I think I have a little bit of time of morning. Yeah, I've got maybe 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm doing good. So, this is your boy L to the B. And today's talk or section or video or what have you, I'm probably going to a little bit of a different direction. I'm not going to necessarily be talking so much in a high gratitude praise because I like to just keep things real as much as I can, even if they are dreamy. So, here's what I ran into last night. The individual that was living with me for probably 3 or 4 months, I was losing my while he was here, but I kept it under cool barely. And it's just because I didn't really just put my foot down about boundaries. I just didn't want to make it an uncomfortable environment for him staying here and just the whole experience. And if anybody knows him, like I used to do shows with him on different platforms. So here's the thing that irritates me about him. He is very talented. And people probably are irritated from me the same way. But he's very talented. He goes and works hard, though, to get in positions and places. Then, when he gets those opportunities, he sometimes doesn't weigh them correctly enough to where he's then put into a separate situation, which is back into the hell he's used to. So it's interesting that he said, "Why would people choose known hells over unknown heavens?" He has that quote, and I think that is a outstanding quote. Honestly, I think it's one of the best quotes I've heard in my life. And I mean, even all the ones I make up that are cute, I like his. And so he's a very intelligent guy. I think he even went to Yale too, as far as I can keep record on this stuff, and Juilliard Arts, and he's just got this whole range of achievements in his life, and he kind of downplays it a little bit because he's still looking, I think, for that success in comparison to what he's done. Like some America says, you go out and you do these things, and you should yield these kinds of fruits. And so he went and did those things, and he's not tasted any sweetness really, but he has had some great triumphs and victories. And I think some of those are the ones that he didn't capitalize the best on. And so I don't know what's happening, but he just wants a solid job. Now he's just asking for just give me brass tacks. And he's going through hell to kind of get it. He's tried here in America. It's just not really working for him successfully. So he's decided to do this overseas in Hong Kong. And he's quickly found out that even they are going to fail him. And so is it now the country or is it the planet? Is it humanity? I mean, this sucks. He's telling me this stuff through the emails, and I'm hating it because I just thought about him yesterday and thinking about how happy I was that he was going to have a solid job, getting paid, and like all of these kind of guaranteed things that he was already vocalizing to me. Now he's back to square one, which was not even one. He's panicked now. He's scared to death because he's got to find a job. I mean, he didn't have any money before, so this is kind of a very unusual territory for him. And I am starting to notice that those things are trickling over into my life, which is kind of lit a little bit of a light under myself to get things done, to just make some magic happen. We'll see what happens out of all of it. And then I'm seeing, just not with me, I'm seeing people in general. So if you got any kind of stories you want to share, or you want to comment, like, are you going through some rough times? Are you going through some like bad patches with finances? Do you feel like the country's failing you? And you feel like you are trying to put forth all this effort and extra effort, and it seems like you're up against a mountain of struggle, almost like you're in competition with everybody else's efforts. So what are you going through? Or maybe you're not going through anything. Maybe you feel like you're blessed. You can look at my videos. You got eyes that work. You got a mouth that opens. You got fingers that can grip. Hopefully, some people don't have that, but they got their legs that can walk them. Some people don't have legs that can walk them, but they still got their mouths and they can speak, and they can move, and they can feel. There's weird things that when you lose certain things, you start to maximize and value the things you have left. I could tell you from a personal example. When I was in a facility that I was basically locked up in, I had all my personal stuff taken away from me. And when I was in that situation, I had nothing. All I had was the residents around me, my solitude, which was totally fine. Like again, I'm an introvert, didn't know that at the time, but I appreciated it. Now I did like my solitude, and then there would be this kind of activity time frame that you were allowed to go out into like a courtyard area where they had all these interesting random things that just it was very odd of a feeling. Like we're talking about, they had a basketball goal, but like the rim was bent. And okay, so you're saying bent, but I mean like bent down, like we're just gonna have an odd shot. And then they had a basketball, but it wasn't pumped really well. So you had to really pump, you had to really slam it, but just enough to where you could maybe make a good bounce. So it was always in this like terrible like midpoint. Like I could tell you that because that's what I experienced. I remember this much. And then they had a piano, but of course, the piano when you played, not all of the keys really worked, and it was out of tune. So things were just like, they're here, but they're not optimal. And all I remember is not caring about anything else really, and just really maximizing those experiences. So I look forward to that. I look forward to watching some movies with like the community. I already know watching movies. We had some kind of like movie night thing. Food. And it relegated me down to just the basics. And that experience, when I started to get things back into my life, I almost was like, what is this? I don't even care about it. And honestly, I want to come from a better position like that whenever I'm going into this gaming direction in life. Which, speaking of which, I have started on yesterday. I started prompt engineering AI to basically become the persona. There's two folds to this. So there's probably a more simpler version, and I'll try to make like a video of it. It's kind of hard for me to showcase what I'm doing with having some anonymity because they don't let you really have that. So I'm going to look around some ways, and if I figure out how to do it, I got it. No problem. This will be easy peasy. So basically, what I did was in ChatGPT right now, you can go in and set a set of instructions for the AI to already recognize you. So if there's certain things that you want to put together about yourself, you create a little summary of 15,000 characters or less. You put that in there. Now ChatGPT will register that information every time you make a new chat. So it will know who you are as a character wise, and then go from there. And also there's another box where it asks, well, how would you like for ChatGPT to respond to you? And those two instructional patterns are very important. And so you could essentially create what I did in a complex way, very simple in that, and that might be just enough for you. Because I know that whenever I did both. I did the one that was with the instructions. It was very on point, and it kind of got into the groove and the rhythm of what I wanted as a conversation between me and ChatGPT, which is important. The other one is definitely more in depth, but it's giving me better quality outcomes. And so kind of where I wanted to go with that is there are some websites, and I'll take you through some of those that you can go to get exactly what you're asking for. So I wanted to create a persona. I figured there's going to be some websites out there that did this, and there is one. And I think it was like it was called like Easy Peasy or something like that. So we're going to say, I think it was maybe GPT Easy or whatever. I don't really know. But I will put all the links there when I make the videos. And it was very interesting to see like the responses I got. And I took a lot of it. I didn't want to have like necessarily my talking back and forth. Even though I could do that with the platform, it would be fine. But it was much easier. I just wanted to hear like a really good sounding human voice. making this back to me and commenting back to me what the response was, in opposed to hearing a robotic voice. I just like it to feel a little bit more resonating. Because I mean, like, what you hear is influential. I mean, there's the vibrational effects; they affect us. So I put it inside of like a Google voice playback, and I'll let you see what that is, because that one is like stellar. You can control the pitch. It's not too many different dials you can mess with, but it's just enough for you to really hear a great sounding voice that, I mean, for all intents and purposes, like, Google did a great job. Now, with that being said, what did I do? What did I set up? I set up the financial slash psychologist guru. And I picked those two in particular because I need someone to manage my finances while also managing my psychology. And this is very important because I think that we skip the step of our personal behaviors and psychology, which influences all the other areas. That's like your, who are you at the end of the day? Because if you can identify and figure that part out, then you can have probably better success in whatever it is that you're trying to do financially. Because you can choose a lot of different financial paths and not have any good successes return. So that's what I did. I went into that pathway, and it was very helpful. Let me tell you, ChatGPT, if I had to spend time with a separate guru, or if I had to spend time with ChatGPT and ask all the nuanced questions I might want to ask, or have it actually fill up the gaps that somebody that's like me or you could just be lazy about giving, ChatGPT didn't do that. I felt like I got a better, thorough understanding. Now, if anybody understands what I'm saying here, I watched on a different video yesterday how, well, ChatGPT will fill in facts that are lies or false. And yeah, while that might be true, the whole point of this exercise is that you have to use discernment. And people in regular everyday life and websites and all of your researching and searching experience, they too can present what's called fact. And it's not, because you have to use the discernment and figure out, oh no, that's not really legit. So it's up to you to really source the source. You know, if that's what if you can get some information and maybe you want to kind of challenge it a little bit, that's your prerogative. That's your decision. For me, and then this is also symbolic to, if you've ever done anything with tarot cards or something where you have to make an inference off of whatever you were shown. This is the same kind of thing. I mean, like, it's similar in that it may not be the future, it may not be your prediction or the truth or whatever that is, but you can make good inferences or inference. What am I saying here? You can make you can infer certain information from this to help you make a decision. And so that's all I've been doing, and it was magical. So I've got a nice game plan, I think, going ahead, just off of my experiences there, for what I want to do with product licensing. And that just, it geared me up. I needed something like that so bad. It started asking me because I prompt engineered it to ask deep questions about me to better pivot and position the financial goals that I want in my life. And it did that. It was not slouching. So I gave it like my basic background of what I am as a Sigma male and a couple other features, and it was like, you have great insight. And it's like the way that it spoke was very nice too, because it's in a psychological mind frame. I made it to be the top financial guru and the top psychologist, and I gave it freedom of movement. I told it to be creative multiple times in the setup, because one of the things that I think we're doing is we're holding back something that could help us, and we keep thinking like we want it to be accurate. We don't even give it the freedom of movement. So I made it sure that whatever all of its powerful knowledge, now use that to create novel and creative things, but also do not neglect what's already known if it's more optimal. So now, like, it's in a position of comparing between It's creative knowledge or its creative ability based on knowledge to maybe create something that I've never heard of and would never do or whatever, And also reflecting back on that knowledge and using it if it was more appropriate than what was, deemed to be new and put in novel. So this is a very interesting experience for AI in its experience with me. And it, like the first thing out the door, it created this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'll tell you exactly the concept that it put together for me. And my vision is so blurry today. Good Lord. I don't know what I ate or what I didn't, but whatever. So, okay. So this was something different. I actually didn't prompt engineer this, but it did give me this because I did want it to be in this kind of persona with me. But I asked it to give me a random topic, and the topic it gave was defining your pyramid of growth. I thought that was a very interesting concept to work within. So I was like, what should I focus on? It says start by defining your pyramid of growth. And it says here, just as the construction of a pyramid begins with a solid foundation, defining your personal pyramid of growth will provide you with clarity and direction. Identify the key areas of your life that you want to develop and improve. These could be related to your career, relationships, personal skills, goals, what you want to achieve. Imagine each tier of this pyramid as a distinct challenge or aspect of your life that you want to focus on. And take the time to set clear and achievable objectives for each tier. This step aligns with your pursuit of success by challenging yourself, as it requires careful consideration and strategic planning. Once you have your pyramid outlined, you'll have a visual representation of your growth journey. This will serve as a roadmap that guides your efforts and decisions. With your pyramid in place, you can then analyze the resources at your disposal, strategize how to overcome challenges, and measure your progress. So, with that being said, that is like the separate chat that I did for my main prompt engineering. However, the concept was novel and it applied to me for what I was looking at in my life. I even actually got it to give me some examples, and it said some stuff there, but it's very powerful to say, let's say I'm going to work on career, and like it described how this pyramid of growth is when you're moving through life, you have different stages, you have different phases. And once you're in these different phases, that's when you're addressing that part of the pyramid. And you're going to grow there. And you might change, and you might have a different tier or phase that you're experiencing at that time. And so you then have to then wrap your mind around or identify or whatever it is, all the different things that are in that level. Basically what I read, but now paraphrased, that was a really great idea for me to bounce with and think about. And it was a nice mental challenge. And when I say mental challenge, not for me to like understand what it's saying, but that it gave me something different it gave me this, maybe it's something that I know, but a different angle from it, approach from a different side. And I think that's exciting. I think that's the kind of experiences sometimes we want to have with other humans. So at least I'm just speaking on my behalf. So I did that. That was great. And I just kept moving forward with my product licensing. I started realizing I even made another submission to the main guy company. And I started understanding like how powerful this is. So I'm getting more and more and more reduced. And you think reductionism, not good. It's probably the most vital direction anyone can take at this current lifetime, because everything is in extreme abundance. We're so given that we are without. We can't even place it. So to iron out some discipline in a different potentiation. What am I saying? And iron it out in a different potentiality is conducive. It's like you're now, like, you actually pull all of the abundance towards that direction just out of attraction, out of opposites attracting. So I think that's what's going to be my experience. Hell, I lost two of my light bulbs went out at the same time, and they're hue, which makes it very strange for me because I thought those bulbs last forever, but they don't. But it's strange that they both went out at the same time. Like, dang, like y'all had like a clock or something. Like what made you stop? Both of you at the same time. Like, it was not like they were running all night long. They were both turned off. So if you turn both off and you turn both on and then both don't work, what the hell happened? I don't see how the life expectancy is just that woven into my electronics. But anyways, I ordered some more, so they're on the way. And I don't know. I think I said enough. I've got a tennis match to go to this evening. Hear my lady sing the national anthem, which would be nice. I get backstage or whatever that is. Guys and gals, I hope you get your life going straight. I'm trying to work on mine. I figured out that pretty much I can have all these ideas, but I need to be very diligent and very purposeful in, I mean, it's starting to get expensive just to create prototypes and stuff like that. And that's where I'm at. I have to keep pushing forward if I want to see this manifest. And I have to make tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of calls. So I'm there right now in that position. I just need to figure out how to do some provisional patent applications and file those. And if I'm able to do all of that and start contacting companies, I don't care. I'll do the work. I'll make that just like part of like me cutting through like the mini monsters on the video game. Like, I have all these mini monsters leading up to the big giant one. And it's like, it's not, I shouldn't look at it as like monsters, but they're achievement gaps. And so I need to, I'm applying my mental gaming to these experiences. And I have to beat one after the other. So I concentrate efforts in one, beat that guy, switch up, maybe use different tactics and categories in the other. And eventually I'm sitting there on a negotiating table where it's probably the biggest fight ever. But eventually I can win that. And maybe I do this on a smaller level and eventually scale that up to big. Because the idea is that I can license a lot of ideas and then hold court as a business there, passive with passive income. Because it's a really tough experience out here. And I don't want to just go scatter myself all over the sea. I want to give this full effort. Just like I did the video game and I had success, I want the same type of reality or dreamality as it applies to my life and these purposeful goals and dreams. I felt so happy and proud of myself. I'm not really a pride and proud kind of guy, but that hit and getting it through that apocalypse on Remnant 2 was humongous. And so I want to be able to do the same achievement in my own personal life and just break through those barriers and just say, hey, I did it. I've got it in. And now I'm going back again because I'm on the next level. And I'm going to see how I deal with this category and this, like I've got DLCs all day for free. So I just need to play these games. And it's the game of life. Let's have some excitement doing it. And I may not... It may be, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be coming up against some big battles. Or maybe they're not. Maybe I'm just making too much out of it. Maybe I do not need to make it like that. But whatever it is, I need to feel that essence to create that essence. So if I don't create the storm in my mind, what is there to what storm is there to overachieve or overcome? I need to have some type of philosophy running in my mind. Then when I'm up against this thing, I have this great experience of winning the event or the experience. And maybe it's not as tough sounding, or maybe it's not as rough of an experience as I'm making it sound, or maybe envisioning. But at least ways I have envisioned it. And that overcoming principle will hopefully set me over to the next level. So guys, gals, I'm out of here. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the weekend. You're going to get Monday coming, and it's going to be some work. Knock it out. Get it done. I'm just seeing how things go with tonight with my lady. And, all right, I'm down. I'm open. All right, you guys have a good one. Love you. Thanks.